Discover the transformative power of decluttering in today's episode, where we dive into the secrets of enhancing your productivity and mental clarity. Join us as we unlock simple yet effective strategies to streamline your life, both physically and mentally, and embark on a journey towards a more focused and stress-free existence. Hi, I'm Mark, and this is the Mr. Productivity Podcast, the show that is dedicated to empowering you to conquer distractions, prioritize effectively, and gain daily clarity. Now, before we begin with the episode, I'd like to ask you a very exciting and important question. Would you like some free training? If you answered yes, which I'm hoping you did, then hop on over to MrProductivity.com, M-I-S-T-E-R, MrProductivity.com. Just enter your email address at the top of the page and click on grab the free training. It's my gift to you, MrProductivity.com. Okay, so what in the world do I mean by decluttering? I believe that you should never assume you know what a word means. So I'm going to explain to you how I am approaching decluttering on this episode of the Mr. Productivity Podcast. So decluttering is the process of simplifying and organizing your environment and mind to improve functionality and reduce stress. Now, who wouldn't want to have improved functionality and reduce stress? So there's two aspects, as I mentioned, physical context and the mental. When I talk about the physical context, this means sorting through, organizing, and often reducing the number of physical items in your personal or workspace. This process involves removing unnecessary or unused items, organizing what remains in a systematic way, and creating a more spacious and efficient environment. The goal here is to make the space more functional and pleasant, which can lead to increased productivity and a calmer state of mind. Doesn't that sound nice? Now, when we talk about the mental aspect of decluttering, this is the process of clearing your mind of excess information, worries, and mental clutter that distracts and overwhelms. This can involve practices such as mindfulness, meditation, prioritizing tasks, setting clear goals, and establishing boundaries to manage stress and mental load. So mental decluttering aims to foster a sense of mental clarity, reduce stress and anxiety, and improve focus and decision-making skills. By decluttering mentally, you can better manage your thoughts and emotions, leading to a more balanced and focused life. What are the benefits of decluttering? I've got 4 big ones I want to talk to you about. Number 1, increased productivity. So if you have a lot of physical and mental clutter going on, it's very difficult for you to focus, to get into a state of flow, because you may be looking at your computer screen, but your eyeballs are seeing all the stuff all around your work area. And we're going to address how to fix that with some very strong strategies that you're going to be able to implement after listening to this episode. Another benefit of decluttering is, I just mentioned, the enhanced focus, but also reduced stress. We live in a world that is constantly on edge. The deadlines keep being moved up. More projects are put on your ever-growing pile of projects. Your to-do list continues to grow. So we're going to give you some strategies on how to reduce stress and improve mental health. When you're struggling to get things done, when you can't focus, when you're under a lot of stress, your mental health is shot. A clutter-free environment can lead to better decision-making and efficiency at work. Now, there is a connection between physical clutter and mental clutter. So physical clutter can reflect and exacerbate mental clutter. taking control of your physical environment can serve as a step towards mental well-being and clarity. All right, so that's all good background information. Let me give you some very specific strategies for both dealing with physical clutter and mental clutter. Let's start with the physical cluttering strategies first. First is the KonMari method from Marie Kondo. I discovered this about 2 years ago, and I went nuts for about 60 days. I was getting rid of everything I possibly could. I sold what I could. I gave away some stuff. I threw a lot of it away. And the very few things that I saved, most of them are things that I used every day or they had sentimental value. I purged a lot of things from my house. And not only did I do that, but before I bring anything else into my home, I'm like, am I going to eventually get rid of this like in 6 months, a year, 5 years? I'm really apprehensive about bringing new things into my home. If I'm going to replace something, I literally replace it. So if I'm going to bring in item A, the old item A gets taken out. I don't have two item A's. What a lot of people do is they take the old item A, put it in their garage or their attic or their storage shed. No, item A comes in, brand new. The old version of item A gets given away, thrown away, doesn't matter. Two item A's do not reside in my house. If you've never heard of Marie Kondo, go out and get one of her books. She is amazing. I got rid of so many clothes I never wore anymore. And I just implore you to go get one of her books, read the way she does it, and make it work for you. Another strategy for dealing with physical clutter is the 4-box method. There's 4 boxes: keep, throw away, donate, and sell. So as you're going through your rooms, and Marie Kondo suggests you go through one room at a time, you have these 4 boxes. Now, obviously, the boxes are going to get filled up. So you're going to take the filled boxes and you're going to move them out to the curb, or you're going to take them to Goodwill, whatever you decide to do with them. And then you keep working through the entire room. My suggestion to you is you start on a room and you finish a room the same day. Don't take 4 days to go through the room. Go through it all, because then you're going to start second guessing yourself. Trust me. Now, an interesting idea I got back in 2017 from entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk is called the Flip Challenge. And what he suggests is you flip a lot of things that you have in your home that you no longer use, but other people probably could use this thing. And so we made close to $1,000 in 2017 by selling things we no longer used. Nearly $1,000. And these people that purchased these things were looking for these things. They really wanted these things. So it was a win-win situation. Now, a little side note here. If you are struggling to come up with money to buy a book, to buy a course, to attend a training, the Flip Challenge is a really good idea. Go through your house and look at the things you don't use anymore, sell them, and there's your money for your book, your course, your training, whatever you want to spend the money on. Now, I encourage you to set decluttering goals like I alluded to a few minutes ago. Maybe you say, okay, the worst room in our home is our master bedroom. Do you want to start there and just rip the bandage off, or do you want to start with the hall closet? Have a goal. And I would look at the whole home and say, okay, as a family, how long are we going to give ourselves to go through the entire home? And I would encourage you to not make that goal too long. If you think you need 6 weeks, make it 2 weeks. You want to make sure this stuff is exciting, because the longer you're in the process, then you're going to we'll just take a day off. Oh, let's not do it during the week. And you're going to start making all these excuses. So what I encourage you to do, set a really aggressive goal Get the whole family involved, whether that's you and your spouse or you and your spouse and your 4 kids. Set a really aggressive goal. Work hard on it, because I can tell you when you're finished, you're going to look at your new home that is declutterized physically and you're going to go, oh man, this is nice. Trust me on that. Create a system for you and your family that ensures ongoing organization rather than a one-time cleanup. You don't want to have to do this again in 6 months or a year or 2 years. So you go through the whole process. You declutter your home or your office, or don't forget the car. And you sit down with your family or maybe with your spouse and you say, okay, we got this clean. Going forward, can we all agree on A, B, C, D, and E? And everyone signs on. Like I alluded to earlier, if you buy a new version of item A, you get rid of the old version of item A. Whether you throw it away, whether you donate it, whether you sell it, doesn't matter, but you have something in place so you don't go through this issue again. You don't want to go through this decluttering every 6 months or every year. Now, let's talk about mental decluttering, because there is another aspect. There's another side to this coin. So here are some techniques for mental decluttering. Remember, when you are stressed, when you're feeling overwhelmed, that is mental clutter. And here's some real practical ideas. Number 1, stay away from the gossip and the news and all these things that are rattling your nerves and causing you stress. That's number 1. Number 2, practice mindfulness meditation. Now, I'm not a big meditating guy, but guess what you can do? You can actually go on a walk without technology and just be present in the moment. You can go out in your backyard and just sit there without being on your phone, without reading a book, without talking to anyone. Just sit in silence. There's something about being silent. There's something about getting into solitude that we are lacking as a society in our world today. So practice mindfulness meditation. Number 2, did you know you have a personal therapist? You do. It's called a journal. And I love my journal. And I'm a big fan. I love technology, but I am a huge fan of a print journal. So I encourage you, when you are struggling with something mentally, overwhelm, stress, anger, whatever, pull out your personal therapist, your journal, and just write whatever you want to write on there, be it explicit, use vulgar language, whatever you need to do to get those thoughts out of your head onto the paper. And what's amazing, as you write, you're probably going to come up with some ideas, some solutions to your problem of mental clutter. But gift yourself the time of journaling. Practice time management strategies. As a productivity coach, a lot of people are struggling with, I need more time. No, you need more priority. You need more space so your brain can go, a lot of people are lacking this. They're in a hurry to go from task to task to task, and they're burning the candle at both ends. And you need to take time to determine what are the activities you're going to work on today, what fits in your schedule, and then the rest of them, maybe you put off till tomorrow or next week. Setting clear personal and professional boundaries is important. Regular mental health checks, and if you need to, seeking professional help is also critical. So if your own personal therapist of your journal doesn't work, please don't sit through life and say, well, I guess this is my lot in life. You go see someone who's a professional. That could be a pastor or imam or a therapist, a psychiatrist. Please go get help. Don't just sit there and deal with it. You need to take care of yourself. Here's my challenge for you. What is one thing that I talked about on the episode today that you are going to commit to do. I don't want you to be a passive listener. This is about helping you declutter your life physically and mentally. What is one thing I'd mentioned today that you're going to do today? Now, I don't want you just to think about it. As I said that sentence, I don't want you to go, this is what I'm going to do. I want you to take it to the next step. I want you to get some accountability. So I want you to share what that thing is with your family, with your friends, or here's a great idea. There's this thing called social media. Go create a video, not a text post. Go create a video and says, hi, my name is fill in the blank with your name. And I want you to know that I heard this podcast. You don't even have to give me credit. It's not important I get credit. And I got this great idea. This is how you're going to talk about something you're going to do, physical declutter or mental declutter. And just put it out there. It's going to make you feel good. And here's the bonus. You may help somebody else. Somebody else may see your video. Another friend or family member might go, wow, that's great. I'm going to do that too. Now you've got a buddy. So don't be a passive listener. Pick one thing you're going to do and then share it with other people and get them on board. You can help each other. I want to thank you for your time and attention for listening to this episode of the Mr. Productivity Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please follow the show on whatever podcast player you're listening to this on. That tells the algorithm to serve up my podcast to other people so I can help them like I helped you. Again, I appreciate you more than words can say. I don't just say that. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. And until I'm back with a brand new episode, which won't be too much longer, please stay productive and stay positive.